One of the worries about sperm donation that I hadn't thought about before was dudes who really like to donate.
Yes.
I don't mean as pervs, they just donate a lot.
A lot of people are like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not me.
Yeah.
I don't want to have kids out there that I don't know. Other people are like, no, that doesn't bother me at all. Or maybe I even think that's a nice thing. My oats wild out there.
Sowed and germinating.
I can imagine they just go, well, on for young and old.
Yes. Not so much for old, but yes.
I'm the donor guy.
There are screenings. Why does it matter? Well, depending on where they do it and how often they do it, you increase the chances of accidental incest. And this could be a thing. This isn't just like some theoreticians and, overly excited legislators going, we could have a problem here.
No, I get it. Because you could also imagine guy is like, I do this a fair bit, but I don't bring it up at family conversations. No. And sister, is like, I'll go and get some sperm donation. And
I'm weirdly attracted to this profile. Bro. So we're in the House of Lords. It's 2008.
Oh, cool.
British MPs were having a debate about laws on human fertility and embryology. During the debate, Lord Alton addressed the House. He told them about British twins who had been separated at birth and then found out they were related after they got married.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would suck.
Surprise.
It would suck. I mean, firstly, don't separate them. They got to keep their natural magic between them.
For whatever reasons, they were separated and adopted out. Anyway, they found out they were married. They found out they were siblings after marriage.
Oh.
And apparently they'd been separated, gone to separate families, and they, quote, met later in life, felt an inevitable attraction. And the judge, therefore, in the court case about the wedding, had to deal with the consequences of the marriage that they entered into and all the issues of their separation. So the union was annulled as soon as the true relationship became known.
Oh.
Adoption groups said, look, this case proves the need for openness and transparency in the adoption process. Yes.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Hard to argue.
Yep.
But to be fair, countries like the UK and many, similar, adoption's pretty well regulated.
Okay.
It's pretty well tracked. So I don't think this is even slightly common. This is a serious outlier.
Yeah, okay.
But of course, there are other services that are out there to help people who want to have a child in a non-biblical way.
Yeah.
And some, like poorly controlled and communicated sperm donation, have a lot more potential to lead to, let's say, unanticipated and troubling encounters. So welcome to the wild world of accidental incest.
Welcome to The Wholesome Show, the podcast that vows to bring you all the dark secrets from the whole of science.
You thought it was going to be worse, didn't you?
Yeah.
I saw your face. You picked up that piece of paper. You can see you go, this is going to be awful.
Yeah.
It nearly was.
I'm Will Grant.
I'm Rod Lambert.
Oh, my God. Accidental incest. Yeah, well, that's...
As another episode we recorded, let's say recently, this is one of the ones where you look at it and you go, how the hell have we not talked about this before?
Well, I don't go around thinking about accidental incest.
Me neither.
In
fact, this came to me via my dear wife.
Not your sister?
We haven't checked. Court's still out. So sperm donation, it's huge multi-bajillion, gazillion dollar global industry.
Yeah, those numbers are
People
accurate.
be spoofing and selling it everywhere, I think is the summary.
Okay.
There are many things to consider about the whole donation thing, from, let's say, production.
Yes.
Through to storage, to supply, to regulation.
Sure.
Complexities of managing the entire business.
This is all going to be about refrigeration, isn't it?
This is actually the history of freezing sperm and other such.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. So one of the worries about sperm donation that I hadn't thought about before was dudes who really like to donate.
Yes.
They get very into it. I don't mean as pervs, they just donate a lot.
I know there are places where they make money for it. Is that
Money's
universal
not
across the board?
necessarily great though. It's not necessarily huge. You can get a bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a bit more about this. What do they call it? The donor lifestyle.
But I can also imagine that there's a threshold to, mentally getting yourself ready to do it. And a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not me. I don't want to have kids out there that I don't know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Other people are like, no, that doesn't bother me at all. Or maybe I even think that's a nice thing to, have my fruits out there scattered wild, my oats wild out there.
Sowed and germinating.
I can imagine they just go, well, on for young and old.
Yes.
I am.
Not so much for old, but yes.
I'm the donor guy.
There are screenings. So why does it matter? Well, depending on where they do it and how often they do it, you increase the chances of accidental incest. And this could be a thing. This isn't just like some theoreticians and, overly excited legislators going, we could have a problem here.
No, I get it. Because you could also imagine guy is like, I do this a fair bit, but I don't bring it up at family conversations, all the time. And sister, is like, I'll go and get some sperm donation. And
I'm weirdly attracted to this profile, bro. So depending on where you are in the world, it might be quite well regulated or at least have strong guidelines. But even where they do have them, they're not necessarily easy or super well enforced.
Yeah, okay.
So Germany, here's an example. A sperm donor clinic may not produce more than 15 children. So
what?
One donor, no more than 15 kids.
Okay.
But in theory, that donor could go to another clinic.
Yeah, okay.
And another clinic and another clinic. They don't necessarily know that. Most of them seem to have a thing where you sign that you haven't been multi-doning.
Okay, but and are those policies basically to stop the accidental incest?
It's part of it.
Yeah.
Big part of it.
I was wondering if there's another reason that you would
I don't know.
limit to 15. It just feels
saturating the market with certain types. I don't know. United Kingdom, the cap is 10 families. A person can donate to 10 families, unlimited number of children, but they can only seed through 10 wombs. United States, there are no legal limits, only guidelines from the American Society for Reproductive Medicine.
Of course, America.
Yeah.
No legal. Just
free market.
You do what you like.
My juice, my choice.
My juice, my choice. I do wonder about these guys like in the UK one where they're this is my number 10. That's it. My
10th family.
Yeah.
So in the US, there's 25 children per donor in a population of 800,000. So you try to make sure you limit the amount of children in a population of 800,000 or more.
Okay.
To try and limit the odds of interfamilial reproduction. God. Also, there's nothing in the US or anywhere apparently that would keep a donor from donating at more than one sperm bank, like we say. So in theory, they could wander around. The sperm banks claim they ask the donor if they've done it before. But you don't know for sure.
I feel like I might have a solution to all this, but
do you?
Well, maybe.
Just one person donate and let's just be honest about it.
No.
Be open.
You could have a conversation in the family. You could just say, I'm looking for some sperm. Have any of you donated before? And I can
I mean, look, you have a very open family and I know you like to shower together and all that, but others don't. They don't talk about what they do with their seminal byproduct. So also people from anywhere in the world can donate to global agencies. So the world's biggest sperm clinic, can you guess which country?
I'm not thinking this is a country. I'm thinking you said world
offshore.
It's like offshore above us. Like it's a giant vat of sperm.
A hovering thing.
It's global, like the UN. The UN has
and you just grab a thin little pipe from
and it's all mixed in together. Like it's completely random.
It's a small world after all.
It's full equity.
You could get anything.
Yeah, lucky dip. That's what I'm imagining is the world's biggest sperm clinic. Am I right or wrong?
Look, wrong.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though? We just got a vat. Give it a stir. Bleep. There's yours. What am I getting? Don't know. It's part of the fun. It's in Denmark.
Is it? Oh.
Cryos International. And they ship apparently semen to more than 100 countries.
Oh, they're harvesting from around the world.
They're
the clearinghouse, and then they're shipping it around the world.
Yeah, they'll take anyone's gunk. And they will give it to people for a price.
Yeah, of course.
So that's Germany, United Kingdom, United States, Denmark. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what about the Netherlands?
Well, I was.
You could see it on your face. You're like, the Netherlands. I wonder what the Dutch do. So Dutch law prohibits donating anonymously, and non-binding guidelines limit clinic donors to 25 children.
That's non-binding though.
Yeah. And they're not allowed to donate at more than one clinic in the country. But of course, there are ways to get around this.
There is the EU. You can just go across a border.
You can just lie.
Well,
but here's one way to get around it. It ain't great. 2019, it came to light. A fertility specialist, Dr. Jan Karbaat, he died a couple of years before. He's a fertility specialist. He secretly fathered at least 68 children.
So, hang on. So they've selected from a profile and he's gone, no, I'll put mine in. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Is he in jail?
Dead.
I don't believe in capital punishment.
No, he died like he was old or something or got sick. But he 2 years after he died, it came to light that's what he'd been doing.
Seriously?
Yeah. What a shit. But that's a way around it. Be a fertility doctor. This is not a common tale. So an advocacy group called the Dutch Donor Child Foundation, now they facilitate legal and emotional support for people who are looking for relatives of the good doctor. They do more than that, but this is one of the things. Another Dutch donor guy, they was apparently known as Louis. He was thought to have more than 200 offspring, many who are unaware of each other.
Yeah. Well.
So a few years ago, a guy called Ivo Van Halen, he learnt that he was among one of these 200. And since then, he's managed to connect with at least 42 of his half-siblings just to, like
just via LinkedIn.
Support group, exactly. Anyone?
Can I join your network on LinkedIn?
Anyone come from Louis? But more importantly, some of his half-siblings, we need to note, have encountered each other many times on Tinder. One of his half-brothers matched online with 4 of his half-sisters.
Why? Have you got the odds for this? Like, what are the...
60 and 209.
It does sound like...
There are studies that suggest people...
might be attracted here. Like that.
Yeah,
like it's not just completely random.
Yeah, there's a similarity thing that is attractive and appealing that it might not be as tangible as you imagine.
Yeah.
But maybe there's sort of a shape or a style or a pheromonal or something, but a similarity appeal
Can't get pheromones through Tinder.
Can happen. But once you meet for your first date.
Well, that's true.
Do you date through Tinder or you just date through Tinder?
Whatever you call it.
I don't know. I've never been on it.
That's nice.
I was relationship before the Tinders.
Okay. Oh.
So the group keeps a list. The group of offspring of Van Halen keep a list of potential siblings, and so they refer to it before they go dating. And apparently, according to, I'll call him Van Halen Jr., he's been very careful when he dates, and he has a very trained eye by now.
So he's a spotter. That's one of my sisters.
Probably my sister.
Nope.
Hot though.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh no, it's on the list. But these guys, this is amateur hour.
Why are you making me feel bad?
Why? No, this is good. It's a feel good story. Earlier this year, 2023, for those of you listening in the future, 41-year-old Jonathan Meijer being sued for increasing the chances of accidental incest amongst a group of people. They suspect, at least at this point or at that point, that he had fathered between 500 and 600 children through sperm donation. So the Dutch Donor Child Foundation mentioned before, they filed the lawsuit. They found out he'd been ignoring pleas from at least a number of women to stop donating because they started to become aware that he'd been a bit busy. He contributed to at least 13 clinics, including 11 in the Netherlands. He said once earlier in the piece, "I'd like to see that there are children of mine all over the world." So his mass donations first came to like 2017. And that's when they found links to him fathering at least 102 children, which violates Dutch rules. However, the rules are guidelines, they're a bit there.
Yeah.
And of course, it was put in place to prevent inbreeding, incest, or the psychological problems of all this. So he was blacklisted from donating in the Netherlands. 2017.
Good.
You're out, sport. There's a picture of him, no entry. So he keeps rolling in other countries instead, including via the sperm bank in Denmark.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Who's like, I want to do this so much, I'm traveling internationally to make sure that I can, even though I've been blacklisted in my hometown.
That's why you got to spread out.
Oh my God.
So it's been suggested that Cryos, the Danish company, don't set an overall limit on how many children the donor may actually lead to producing, but it claims that it adheres to the guidelines set by the countries into which the sperm is being delivered. It claims that. So the New York Times reporter reached out to get comment, and the CEO of the company said, look, a donor could not sign up to donate without being aware of the exclusivity clause. They must be, there's no way you could sign up to donate. He says, no, this is impossible. He says in an email, donors sign and commit in contractual terms to not donate in any other tissue establishments than ours.
A commitment. That guy couldn't possibly break that.
Nope, it's impossible because he said he wouldn't. Also, the CEO adds, on a general level, Cryos disassociates itself from any form of serial sperm donation due to the importance of not exceeding national pregnancy quotas. So whatever, Meijer's like, I don't care. He went on to offer himself as a donor on sites that would match prospective people. So it's not illegal. You can kind of go,
no, I get it. Yeah.
And there are many stories about dudes, they meet you in a railway station. Here's a jar of spoof. They
like literally,
pounds.
like as in.
Yeah, literally.
But what?
How well is it contained and
how
stuff?
How well is it looked after?
I assume you get a little bit of party ice. You put it in a, I don't know, takeaway coffee cup. Maybe they do it right there. Maybe they go to the bathroom at the.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, I'm sure. Of course, there's been plenty of hookups and things like that. Yeah.
But yeah, and these people, it's not like they're secretly trying to bang people. It's a business.
or not a business, but I'm struggling for the right word. If it's hobby or if it's a passion project or if it's
a calling.
It's a calling. Oh my goodness.
I just want to help people.
Ooh, I mean, look, I absolutely get that there is a compelling need. I think don't we have a sperm shortage at the moment?
Not here. Not me, mate.
No, but I thought there was multiple sperm shortages. One is decline in sperm quality and
the motilities
and that all around the world. That each individual on average, like we're producing less sperm than our grandfathers did, but they were the greatest generation.
I never asked my grandfather.
Yeah, they had volumes. They were
Grandpa.
Famed.
What's the standard load for our family?
Famed for their volume back then. But there's that. But
famed for their volume.
But also
so horrible noise from the bedroom. It sounds like the roof sprung a leak. Get a bucket and a mop. We're in trouble. Oh no, it's just grandma and grandpa.
But the other thing as well, that I thought I had sperm clinics themselves.
Maybe true. I'm not sure. Luckily, we have Jonathan Meijer. It's claimed he would donate under assumed and fake names, which is not on, but also he's denied it.
Do you want your So he's working on the idea of I like my little flowers, my wild oats growing around the world.
Yep.
Why?
I want them in the snow. I want them at the beach. I want them in the city. I want them in the country.
Does he want his kids to accidentally have incest?
I'm pretty clear he did not think about that even a little bit. So let's talk about how his panspermia actually, how far it went.
Panspermia.
That's what I'm calling it.
It's a very different term, but it's
It kind of works though.
It does. It does.
Joelle de Boer, she's a volunteer with the Child Donor Foundation, the Dutch Donor Child Foundation, and she's been tracking his activities. So according to her research, he's been traveling throughout Europe, Scandinavia and Ukraine, donating sperm at various clinics as well as privately over the internet since 2007. But he hasn't made it that hard to track him because there's one example, comment on Facebook 2017. 2 weeks ago, I went to donate in Kiev at a biotexcom clinic. The lady I helped used an egg donor from Ukraine, which will be fertilized with my sperm. I must say this is one of the best experiences I've had with clinics.
Oh, okay.
He's also on 8 private donation sites, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. One site, he advertised himself as a blonde musical Viking donor.
Oh. Well.
Blonde musical Viking donor. So how many mini Meijers are actually out there? It's a bit hard to say. However, there are definitely, Meijers in Australia, Italy, Serbia, Ukraine, Germany, Poland, Hungary, Switzerland, Romania, Denmark, Sweden, Mexico, and the US.
Wow.
The Dutch Donor Child Foundation, they work out based on his known pattern of activities with clinics and private donation. They reckon it could be as high as 1,000.
Wow.
In an email to the New York Times reporter, he says, no, that's bullshit. I probably have about 250. Assumptions of 1,000 are ridiculous. I'm disappointed by the obsession about numbers. I cannot understand how anyone can only focus on numbers and see my donor children as a number. So he's gone all Trump about it. They aren't number, they're people. And no one's saying they're not people. Okay. In fact, it's worse because they are people. We're talking about this along the way. Why do people do it? So there seem to be 3 motivations. 1, money. 2, generosity. And 3, you want to pass on your DNA.
Yeah.
I'd say 4, some people just probably get a bit of a thrill. So money, doesn't seem like there's much money in it really.
Like what are we talking? Is it like $50 a pop?
50 a pop. If you go private, you might, get $150 or something.
Yeah.
But apparently some donors, people agree to travel them around to deliver it. So they might get this kind of minor lifestyle. So they get their travel for free.
Okay.
Plus, $100,
so that could be a weekender or something like that.
I'm going to pop across on the Eurail and...
Hey, babe, do you want to go to New York for the weekend?
Yeah.
All we have to do is I just have to pop off.
Yep. When we get there, I'm going to wank in a jar.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy dinner.
Then let's go see the Met or whatever.
Yep. Generosity is one of the big ones. So Meijer claims this. He became a donor not for any numbers, but out of love to help parents realize their dreams.
I get it.
Which may not be untrue. The third thing, this whole desire to pass on your DNA, and which, depending on the male, that's a strong narcissistic and or biological drive.
Look, I mean, that's a known thing, but but to jump that to I want to have kids.
Keep going and going.
To
and going.
I want to have 1,000 kids.
Infinity.
I want to have more kids than I could possibly have in 1, 2, 3, 4 marriages. Like it's just
lifetimes.
Or lifetimes.
Entire lifetimes.
Yeah, like you go full Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
Is it like your quarter of Asia is descended from Genghis Khan?
So what happened to Meijer in the end? So the Dutch court forbade him from donating to any clinics, and he could be fined up to €100,000 per infraction.
Oh, Okay.
which is pretty rich. And the court also ordered him to write to clinics overseas and ask them to destroy any of his semen. So he has to basically write apology letters and say,
Destroy my semen.
get rid of it, except for doses reserved for parents who already have children by him.
Okay.
And I mean, look, one of the ways they discovered this, or some of the women who started to realize there was something wrong, was there were cases where children who were fathered by him unknowingly were in the same preschools and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous slope, because if they go through the same schooling system together,
Odds, there's a chance. Yeah.
could be a little bit of a, coming of age.
Did you have to?
Yep.
Did you have to?